So I decided, okay, whenever I clean, no matter what, I will do it in silence. So what happens is in the morning, I drop off my kids for 9 a.m. I have from 9 a.m. till 12 before I pick them up for lunch. So that's 3 hours of silence. Do you ever pull out your phone to search for a podcast to listen to, because you're going to clean or you're going to cook or even music or whatever. And then you end up scrolling on your phone like for 5 minutes trying to find one, and you waste 5 minutes looking for one. And in the end, you go with one that you had originally thought of, but then you got into the rabbit hole because the phone suggested something else for you to do or another podcast for you to check out, but then you didn't know which episode to listen to, kind of like when people, in streaming services like Netflix or Amazon Prime, you have all this choice and you're just like a deer in headlights. You don't know which one to choose. It's just so many bad choices, bad things to choose from. So that happened to me a lot. I decided to prepare for Lent. This was before Lent. We're in Lent right now. At the time I'm recording this. So pre-Lent, I thought I should embrace the silence and not moderately. Because before, what I would do was, okay, you're allowed to listen to one podcast, Alexis, but then we all know what happens after we listen to one podcast now. So I decided, okay, whenever I clean, which is the majority of my morning, that's when I do most of the labor-intensive, quote-unquote, labor-intensive things for me. When I clean, no matter what, I will do it in silence. So what happens is in the morning, I drop off my kids for 9 a.m. I have from 9 a.m. till 12 before I pick them up for lunch to clean and do whatever I need to do. So that's 3 hours of silence in the morning. And in the afternoon, I would do whatever I need to do. But if I clean in the afternoon, I still have to do it in silence. That was my rule, to do the cleaning in silence. Just like monks, just like religious, and it changed my brain. I love this. I'm already someone, I should have mentioned this before, I am someone who loves the sound. I love cooking, and I love the sound of the knife, cutting on the board, when you're peeling potatoes, or, the sounds of cooking, the sizzling of the pan, the oil in the pan, all that stuff. I like that. I didn't really have, when I cook, I like to cook in silence. It's more when I have to do the other stuff, the stuff that's not fun, because cooking is fun for me. And it changed my brain for the better. Number one is that you have time to pray. Before I would be like, got no time, I gotta clean, da-da-da-da-da. No, since it's silent, you can pray. Didn't have time for that rosary? No, well, now you do, because you have 3 hours of silence and you can pray your rosary then. It's like the monks and religious. It's like a ora et labora. Ora et labora. Pray and work, pray and work. You do it at the same time. And what I do when I do pray the rosary, I use my fingers. So let's say I am hanging clothes, and basically every time I pray a Hail Mary, an Ave Maria, I would just fold one of my fingers just to keep track. And, I would still use the other fingers, and I would switch hands once it gets to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's how I would kind of keep track. Another way I would pray is singing. I love to sing. I love singing liturgical music. That is one way that I would pray. So I found a lot more time to pray. And I had less excuses because I had all this time, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon of pure silence. I ain't got no more excuses. And another thing is that you realize since time passes so much slower, because you don't have this distraction, because it is a distraction in the end, podcasts, music, etc. The time goes by so much slower. and in the best way. Because you always think, people love to say, I mean, even I say this, sorry, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. It passes by so slow, and then you realize you've done a million things, and you have even more time in front of you. You don't have the time to, whilst you're folding clothes, oh, the podcast is done. Oh, look, there's like an ad. I gotta skip it, get my phone, and then pass the time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Oh, okay, let's put it down. You realize, 5-10 minutes is gone. No, you've been folding the whole time, praying the whole time, and oh wow, the thing is done in no time. Whatever you need to do takes half the time to do, because you're not constantly going back to your phone to play or search or whatever. You're not distracted by that thing. And, listening to the podcast. Oh, what did he say? I got to go back. And you see what I mean? Time goes by so much slower, and there's so much more of it. It feels like there's so much more of it. And so you are more productive, and you get things done quicker. Another thing is you start to embrace it, and you seek the silence. There were a few times I was like, okay, I can't. I'm too weak. I'm an awful human being. I need to listen to a podcast. And then I would look and search for a podcast and think, no, actually, I don't want to. None of it is interesting enough to listen to. I'm just going to keep folding my laundry, or I'm just going to keep putting toys away in silence. You end up wanting it to be quiet and just being with you and God, just your mind, and it's just this stillness that you don't usually get. And I couldn't get this quiet if my kids were here, because they would need me and my attention. My husband would need my attention. This is finally a time where I get to just be with myself and just be with God, and everything is enhanced. Just like I described whilst cooking, I like hearing the sounds. So it's the same when I fold the clothes or put the toys away. The sense of touch and sound is enhanced, and then you get to kind of fall in love with the sound, with the process, and it doesn't seem like a chore anymore. You have moments where you're on autopilot, but then you start to gain pleasure from the task that you are doing, the manual tasks, the labor tasks. And I think that is a blessing, to actually want to do the work. And you find yourself not complaining as much about the work, and you think like, thank you, Lord, for all these toys that I'm putting away, because that means I have children. Thank you for my children. Thank you for the lunch I have to make for my husband before he goes back to work the next day. You get these moments and you realize it's not for you that you're doing the chore. Whatever it is, maybe you're in the garden, you're a man, you're in the garden and you're fixing something or what have you. You realize it's not for you that you're doing it for the people with you, in your family. So everything is enhanced, and then you gain pleasure from it. And that is such a blessing. And the cherry on top of doing things in silence is getting to hear your family. What I mean by that is the moments where, for example, I'm washing dishes or something, and then I hear my kids just giggling about something, there's something like farts and poop. They're 4 and 5. That's their jam right now. They love poop, fart jokes. It's hilarious. But they'll be giggling in the back, talking about poo and farts. And I'm just washing dishes, and then I get that moment. That is a gift. Hearing them laugh and giggle, talking about poo and farts is a gift. Or even moments when it's completely silent. Like, for example, like I say, I'll be washing dishes, and I'm like, I think to myself, what are they doing? And I turn around and both of them are on the couch, just reading a book, or one of them's on at the table drawing for long periods of time. And I just get to witness it. But if I were listening to a podcast or music or what have you, I would miss those moments, those little gifts that we get every day. Even just a moment with my husband, just being with my husband in the quiet whilst my children are reading or drawing or doing whatever they're doing, just being with him. You get to be with your family or the people that you love. I know people who are so uncomfortable when you're having a conversation and there's this natural silence where nobody talks, and then they start to hum or, sing a little ditty. We're just so uncomfortable with silence now. But silence is so precious. It is gold. Silence is golden. It is so precious, and we have to safeguard it. It is one of the tools that we can use to combat the bad in the world. We don't need to hear the latest news whilst we're, going about our lives. We don't need to constantly have someone talk to us. As much as I love podcasts and music, this moment where you are alone with yourself and with God is so important. And this gives us the freedom to have it. We would no longer have the excuse of like, oh, I didn't have time. We have plenty of time. We just have to use it wisely. So if this speaks to you, I hope you give it a shot. You will, the first hour or so is the hardest because you're seeking, the distraction. You want to be with something or someone or something because you don't want to be alone with your thoughts. But know that God is always there and you're never alone. And that the more you do this too, the more calm your day is, the less stress, the less anxiety that you have. If this episode spoke to you, please do share it with other people. My name is Alexis. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. God bless.